Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of To an Imperfect Union. This program is actually going to be called Diamonds Among the Darkness. And I want to make this a regular feature. But tonight, this is our initial show. I was intending to get Mr. Stephen Fong on, whom you've met before, who is a member or the founder of I Clean San Diego. And while talking about the group, I have seen that there are a lot more layers to this group, and they are a lot more embedded in the social fabric of San Diego and in promoting not only a clean San Diego, but also a sober San Diego, and working with some groups here. As you will find out, the House of Music, First Gen Scholar. I want to have all of them as a part of the show. But tonight, you're going to meet two young men that are from a sober house here in San Diego. And the first gentleman that we're going to meet is Mr. Mike Newton. Michael can't hear you. There's a lot of
What up? Can you hear me?
Background, we can't hear you.
Oh man, that's rough.
So, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. We're trying to make this work as much as possible. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you
So, yeah, my name's Mike. Is it getting better?
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, my name's Mike. I'm from Arizona, and I came out here to get sober. Came out here to get clean. I didn't think it was gonna work, but I was willing to give it a try. In my life, I've been using drugs since I was 12 years old, and I've been selling drugs from even a younger age than that. So in my lifetime, I'm 33 now, and it kind of transitioned to where a lot of my family and friends pretty much gave up on me and realized that this is how I was going to live until my time comes to an end. And they were at peace with that. So I'm a person who doesn't get much people that want to help because they either say I'm too far gone, or not having a support group is critical in recovery, and I didn't have that.
So, how did you find your way to San Diego?
How I describe what?
How did you get here?
So I have one relative that's in recovery, and he lives out here in San Diego, and he works at the Heartland House, which is the place where my sober living's at. And he had seen me in my addiction, and he wanted to help me, but I told him it was too late for me, that I would prefer to just die either through an overdose or some other way, but I wasn't going to try anymore. But when I got to a point where I had enough, I took him back on that offer and said, you know what? I'm willing to come out here to San Diego. So he told me, well, be here in 2 hours if you want to do this. And I made my way over here. And the last thing my mother told me was I'd rather drop you off here than bury you. So that was kind of the reality of where things were at, and I gave it my all.
Now, another gentleman that lives in the house with you, I believe, is Mr. Keith Tipton. Keith, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm living life to the fullest at this moment.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be in the sober living house.
So my name is Keith Tipton. Consider myself as an alcoholic. The reason why I went to sober living is because I had a couple of situations in my life. I was in jail for about 4 months, got out on November 2nd, and was directed to do an inpatient program of recovery and outpatient program too. Altogether 6 months, and I was at the Heartland House at first. Didn't really look into it as like I needed it, but for the most part, like I said, I was directed and basically wanted to change my life when I experienced it. So, and it's brought me pretty far.
Now, so you're an alcoholic. Alcohol is your drug of choice. And Mike, what was your drug of choice? Meth, anything in particular, or anything?
My first drug I ever tried was methamphetamine at the age of 12. So that was always my go-to. But shortly after the doors swing open, they say marijuana is a gateway. So I came in through the back door. So after that, all bets were off, and I was doing everything. I even became an IV user.
See, I'm not really trying to argue with what helps make you sober or anyone else, but I think that's a very bad reputation to give marijuana. I've been smoking marijuana since I was 12. I'm 77. So why am I not a heroin user or a meth user or an IV drug user? So I can't say, I think that's whether or not you have an addictive personality, but how did you manage to get to a house? Were you incarcerated? Were you referred? How did you get to the house where you are now, Mike?
So I have a family member that works at Heartland House at the sober living, and that was my only foot in the door, because not only that I don't have insurance or the money to afford those things, I'm from another state, so usually this stuff doesn't happen. And then also with my relative working there are certain rules that have to be bent a little bit just for me to be accepted. But they were willing to do that because they know how critical addiction is when it comes to the drugs that I was using. When I came in, I tested positive for every drug on the screen, and they said, the individual that tested me said, "Wow, you're the first one to ever do this." So that got my attention also, like, man, if for me to hear those words from a person that works in recovery that also was an addict, it's like, it's a reality check.
Now, when you came into the program, or let's start before you got into the program, what was the incident, or what was the trigger for you to become an addict? Was it peer pressure? Were you just with a bunch of friends? Or, I mean, Explain to us how you took that first step.
It's something about addiction and the lifestyle and being in that environment is what makes me feel comfortable as a human being. So at the time when COVID happened, I was sober at that time. But after it hit, the tools that I learned, the things that I would use to stay sober weren't available to me no more. There was no meetings available. There's no counselors. All the churches shut down. All the gyms shut down. All the dance studios shut down. I was in a place where I was trying to deal with my emotions and feelings, but I didn't have the tools to do that. So it went from me hanging out with a friend that was smoking marijuana. Within 10 minutes, I was using drugs in my vein, and it happened that quick. So from the beginning of COVID to October 11th, 2022, I had been using. So I get back into the environments where I'm selling drugs again, but now there's this new drug out called fentanyl. Just from selling that drug, I became addicted to it. And I never would have thought I would be as strung out as I was, but it got the best of me to where this wasn't a normal rodeo no more. This was Russian roulette. And I knew it was going to take me out.
Uh, Keith, let me talk about your situation a little bit, because I guess things have changed since I was in the system. When I was in the system, we had two programs basically available to us, which was either Alcohol Anonymous or NA. Now, usually there's a distinction made between an alcoholic and an addict. So how did you end up in a home that's basically for drug addiction?
So, to put out on the table, this is my first time ever being into a program or program. The way I come about, like I was kind of like, even though a quiet child, but I was still kind of like so bad. And like I said prior to earlier when I was talking about, I went to jail and got out on November 2nd, and I'm on probation right now. And my probation, he's cool, but he told me I definitely need to do these programs and make a good example, because for the simple fact, like he always kept telling me, like any type of mess up I do, like I come in dirty or not check in, or you know, any fuck up I do. I 5 years. So I considered that was definitely a wake up call for me when I heard those words come out of his mouth. Like I always been drinking, smoking weed. Like I've been drinking since well, not 12, but since 18, and I've been smoking weed since I was 12. So when the alcohol kind of like took over is when I was drinking bottles of Fifth, all type of stuff. Whatever tasted good to me or gave me that buzz that I was looking for, I was all for it, you know. So with that being said, like being in this situation made me realize like there's something definitely better than what I've been doing with my life these past years of my life. And I had recently just turned 30 last year, August 18th. So, you know, being in jail while I was locked up and having my birthday in jail was definitely a wake-up call for me too, because I never thought I would be going to jail and turning 30 on my birthday, you know. So it definitely put me in a definite better mind.
And now, what were some of your interests before you got while you were out on the street?
Well, a couple of my interests was selling weed, being in the club a lot, hanging out with weeds. I've did a lot of robbing, like robbing stores, and what I had got locked up for was robbery. So like, I definitely karma and it brung it definitely bit in the behind from all the stuff I've done in the past and never got caught for doing.
Mike, what kind of criminal background did you have before you came here?
I got several things: trafficking, burglary, drug possession. Those are the things that I got in trouble for, meaning I got caught. But yeah,
So
you can only imagine.
So, Mike, one of the things that, when I talk to people or from my life experiences is even in my own life, was that you can only change when you are ready to change. No one can make you change. No program can make you change. The only thing that stands between you and being sober or living the type of life that you want to live is your mindset and whether or not you're willing to do the things that are necessary in order for you to live a productive life. Now, so when did you make that change? Mike?
So normally my I have a high functioning ability in my addiction where I feel like I'm on top of the world. And this time in my addiction, I didn't feel like that no more. I felt like a straight up junkie. I could not participate in the criminal activity that I'm used to. I could not do the things that I know how to do. So it didn't make sense anymore. And I was humbled in a way where I'm only 33 years old and I've already suffered from a minor heart attack, 3 overdoses, and just from all those things, it got my attention like, oh man, I'm not going to make it.
So, you two guys live in the same sober living environment, am I correct?
Yep, same house.
Okay, so Mike, you actually took the time that you've been there, and not only have you been a part of the program, but I understand that you are becoming a counselor.
Correct.
Tell us about that transition because, I remember, when I was in the joint, if you were a counselor or, something like that, then, you carried a certain label, maybe you were a brown noser or, a snitch or whatever. How did you make that transition and be acceptable by your peers?
Well, it's easy because as much as I've done in my life, I don't want to see another person go through what I went through or die. And that is like the only thing that sits on my heart more than my own life is being able to help that next person by sharing my experiences and by being able to be transparent, because I believe there's no magic potion, there's no magic drug, there's no program better than having a peer that can identify with you and walk you through whatever it is that you're trying to overcome.
Uh, Keith, how were you able to accept this program? Like you said, you're 30 years old. You've been clubbing, and now you're talking about being sober. Well, knowing that you have a background. Not only are you a musician, but you're also have been accepted in a culinary arts program. Now, being a former chef, you have to cook with alcohol. Usually, the environment that you're around is conducive to alcohol. When you get off work, you're hanging out with the servers and, the chicks and whatnot. So how does this program also help you to take that next step and give you those tools that Mike said that he didn't have, because you're going to be confronted every day with your addiction being alcohol. That's not a clandestine drug. That's something that you can go to any corner store and get. You can go to any bar and get. Usually, any party. So how do you plan to use these tools when you are out there in the real world?
That's a great question. So I've been like, I have a strong mental and I have a strong mind. Like if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm definitely gonna do it. If I'm not gonna do it and I tell myself I'm not gonna do it, I'm not. So I haven't started school, but I will be starting April 20th this month. And to get on that topic, I always watch both of my mom cook great food, and those are the ones that inspire me to like get into that industry and to, like become a different type of chef, that probably the world ain't never seen. But on top of that, with my addiction with alcohol, like, so I've been working security for like, hookah lounges and bars, stuff like that, or clubs. And I've challenged myself and been around that environment. And I came to the point in my life, like, I know I want to be this way. Like, it's been plenty of times after I graduated from the program, like I could have used at any moment, but the realization of what I'm going through and how my life is tremendously changing day by day, it's like it's a wake up call to happiness. Like every day I wake up, I motivate myself. I've written goals down to accomplish. I don't never try to be negative at any moment in my life. I speak positivity in my life as much as possible and try to be a great example to my families and my peers when it comes down to living this recovery and sobriety life. So at this moment, it comes to the point where like I'm very happy with what the choices I have made to do better, to make a great example for people that may be going through the same thing I have went through.
Okay, so what are some of the activities that you have around the house or programs that you have to go to that give you the tools in order for you to participate in this sober living lifestyle?
Well, I go to a meeting with the sober living once a week, and they check up on me, see how am I doing, what progress I'm having in my sober living. I go to my outpatient program at ECS for group Monday through Wednesday, one group a day, and like make it to a AA meeting as much as possible. Um, I've gotten plenty of opportunities to volunteer for different places and be in, sober environments. So I've been doing that, and that's pretty much what's been like, helping me through the process.
So now is this a fixed excuse me, is this a fixed program, meaning that you're there for a certain number of months? I mean, like a sentence, or is this a voluntary group?
Well, no, me, uh, you know, as an individual, I'm definitely what's the word I'm looking for? I'm definitely directed to do a outpatient program and
Okay.
a program by the judge, handwritten herself. So
Okay.
I have no choice but to do what the judge is asking me, while I'm on probation, because that's what was asked of me when I got sentenced the day I got out.
Okay. Okay. So now, after you do what the judge has asked you to do in order for you to meet the terms of your probation or whatever, is there any type of, now I know we've already discussed you're getting ready to go to school, but uh is there any type of job placement, or is there any type of place where you can go and continue uh not only your treatment, but also somewhere that can give you that sense of self-esteem, where when you get out, you're not just out there floating around like a fish.
Right. So I think the outpatient program extends your time. Like, say if you want to do it for 9 months to make sure you're getting yourself established independently, and with the program too, for culinary arts, which is called Kitchen for Goods, they're gonna, like, when I graduate, they're gonna put me in like a restaurant, a high expensive restaurant, like 5-star restaurant, to continue to work and get high pay for it. So they're gonna be helping me out with that too. And with like I'm directed to do 3 months in an outpatient program as well, but I can extend my time if I want to, like, continue to work on my recovery and to make sure I got my stuff together. I got all my needs together and to support myself as an individual.
Now, is there a referral to this program, or is this a program that's only for people that have been incarcerated or are likely to be incarcerated?
No, it's for everybody. It's, if you can apply for yourself, you don't have to be on probation or, you know, been in jail, like if you want to get sober or recover from anything that you might have been going through, you can definitely apply on your own time and get the help that you need. Anybody that's out there that needs it, the help, I definitely advise them to get it, you know.
Can you tell them where to go to get it or the name of the program?
Um, this program that I graduated recently is Heartland House program, recovery. It's 5855 Stern View Drive, San Diego, California. They will definitely put you in the right direction. They're good people. Uh, they help you out. They actually do care. They're not just, you know, in it for an income. You know, they sit down and really, you know, put themselves in your shoes, you know, because, you know, everybody has their own journey, but some may be similar, some may be different. But at the same time, you know, Heartland House is a great help. They brung me far from where I've came.
Well, we're going to kind of cut our program a little short tonight. It seems like Mike's earpiece has died out. And I do want to get Stephen and Jose on the show.
Right,
But
right. I was wondering where you went.
hey, man, you got some beats for us to hear? Some sample? I mean, you're a musician, man. What are you instrumental type guy? Are you
I mean,
a
yeah,
rapper? How do you?
I do.
What's your genre there, man?
I know. I do instrumentals. I do, you know, get connected with producers and stuff. You guys can look me up on Rap Chat. My name is Stone Tip. I have a lot of music on there. You guys can look me up on Instagram too at the Real Stone Tip. I'm on there. Not only do I do music, I do funny clips. I'm sort of like a miniature actor. I entertain and
Okay.
do so. I'm involved with that. So like I try to be multitasking and stuff and do a lot of things. I also have a plan to like get my own t-shirt business going on for myself. My mother has
You're an artist. You're an artist.
yeah, I draw too. I draw. So my mom, she has her own store as well. She has her own clothing store that she's been working with since last year from the ground up, and she's been doing a tremendous job with it. So she's going pretty crazy with that. Like she inspired me to like do the things that she's doing too. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff that's like getting lined up. I also want to like do a little cooking. Like once I graduate from school, do a little cooking show on YouTube and like do some recipes and stuff for like people that just want to learn how to cook as well. Like I said, I'm trying to put myself in different aspects and different situations to keep myself busy during my recovery too.
Hey, man, look, two of my favorite shows are Black Ink and Ink Master, man. I see you got some tats there. Any plans to do that? I mean,
I you know I was always asked to do that too, but like I at the same time I'm like, what, I would, but it's like I don't. I'm a little
that,
bit nervous to be doing, that on the end, and I mess up. I'm like,
yeah,
No,
hey, man, especially brothers, man. I mean, It's the worst thing in the world. You see a brother got tats and you can't read them. You know,
Right.
it's like, you know,
Definitely. And I'm not about to be the one that did that. I'm like, oh, dog, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I get sued or something like that. Oh, I ain't got time for that.
Hey, but I can definitely tell you, man. Look, if you like to cook, you know, there's nothing better in the world, man. You can get your creativity on. You can get you can get your hustle on. You can open up a little pop-up place on the weekends, do your own thing. There's so much versatility, man. You know, and you know, as someone that you know had 4 strikes before the 3 strike law was passed, you know, I
Yeah,
found out
right.
that was what my way to get my hustle on and to stay independent and not really have to depend on anybody else. Plus, I always knew that I always had somewhere to eat, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, and like you said, you know, like you know, you can develop cookbooks, you can develop your own style. So yeah, you know, I definitely encourage you know, someone that's out there and don't really, you know, is looking for something that is satisfying, you know, as well as creative. Definitely try cooking. You know,
No, definitely, man. Cooking is good for the soul, man, for sure. Like, you know, if anybody out there love cooking,
it's
do it.
not good, not necessarily good for the waistband, though.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Make sure you watch your calories and stuff out.
You know, you know, but you know, hey, there's so many different ways with that too, because you can go vegan, you can go vegetarian, you know,
Yeah,
so you know, there's so much versatility, as I said, man, you know. But
definitely.
hey, Keith, you know, thank you for coming on, and we appreciate your time. I
Mm-hmm.
look forward to having you back. I'll probably get back and have a chance to work with you guys a little bit later on, excuse me, later on in the month.
Okay.
Uh, why don't you tell people, you know, we mentioned it already, but make sure you tell people where they can find you, where they can find your music, and
Okay.
give us your final thoughts for the evening.
Uh, like I said, my name is Keith Tipton, also aka Stone Tip. You can look me up on Instagram, The Real Stone Tip. That is at The Real Stone Tip. All between those words is underscore. So make sure you know do that the correct way. You can look me up on Rap Chat too. That is at Stone Tip. Uh, and for the rest of the podcast, like I thank you for the opportunity to express myself and you know give a helping hand to whoever's listening out there. Uh, I feel like this was a great opportunity. I was a little nervous getting on here, but you know, I got the jitteries out, you know, and went all the way through with it, you know, just to be supportive at any way I can, you know, because I feel like me putting myself in this position is probably a helping hand for somebody that may needed to hear what I'm saying, you know. So I thank you for the opportunity, you know, and for the people that's out there maybe going through whatever they're going through, it ain't always gonna be dark, you know. The sunlight always come to shine once again, and always keep faith in God and stay motivated and positive. Keep the negativity out your mental mindset and out your mind, and everything's gonna be okay.
Hey man, and we're always looking for some music. So you know, if you want to throw some samples for you know for us to do you know a little intro there, hey, you know, let us know. You know, we're out to help promote whatever we have to do, man, in order to help you guys get to that next step. So I
Yeah,
thank you for your time and look forward to talking to you again. You have a great night, man.
you
Thank you.
too. Too.
All right, that was our first presentation of Diamonds in the Dust. And we hope to have many more podcasts concerning things that are happening here in San Diego. Sober living. We have some programs for youth called firstgenscholars.org. Check them out. House of Music that has programs for young people that actually give the instruments to the young people after they finish the courses. Check out some of the things that we are doing in San Diego for our youth as well as for our community. Check out Mr. Steve Fong at I Clean San Diego, Mr. Jose Fuentes, as well as the two young men we had on tonight, Mike Nunez and Mr. Keith Tipton. As I said, we intend to keep serving San Diego and bringing you some of the good news out of San Diego. Thank you very much. Look forward to talking to you again. Have a great evening, everyone.